My dear Australian native friends, I am a Canadian citizen actually living in Africa. I have practiced law in Canada and abroad at the national and international level for over 30 years. I'm actually retired. Trample and set fire to the flag of the nation that welcomes you must, in my opinion, not only be subject to a criminal offense, as is the case in France, but also subject to an immediate order of expulsion of the person at fault. A recent video depicted the highly reprehensible behavior of a protester who was trampling and setting fire to an Australian flag. According to my first observations, the individual was not a native Australian. Such disrespect should, in my opinion, be severely punished and result in legal action, but even more, such a gesture demonstrates a profound contempt for Australia. Therefore, the immigrant status specifically should be revoked immediately and the individual returned to his country of origin. Dozens of monster demonstrations are actually taking place in major cities around the world, sometimes several times a month. Certainly, the right to demonstrate is inherent to every citizen, but the country must still strictly regulate what very often looks more like excesses of protesters. Wearing a mask or any piece of cloth covering the face to conceal one's identity should be formally prohibited under penalty of severe fines. In a second phase, every protester shouting and gesticulating in the streets without a permit allowing him to manifest should also be subject to an arrest and a fine. The most serious cases, such as verbal, physical violence, or even the setting fire to some disparate object, should lead to an indictment by way of criminal act. It is therefore the responsibility of the protester to check with the relevant authorities to know whether or not a permit has been issued to manifest with his peers. The authorities must set a clear limit to these aggressive demonstrations, which often generate much more insecurity and violence than pacifism. I support the idea that there is a lack of education and respect at the root of such excessive behaviors. Australia does not have to educate immigrants, whether they are Palestinian, Somalis, Iraqis, Afghans, or others. If those individuals are unable to demonstrate civility, it is imperative to lead by example and proceed manu militari to their eviction. Some countries are literally overwhelmed with these wild and often unexpected demonstrations. I'm thinking in particular of Germany. The police there do a remarkable job. It is time to establish very strict protest norms with consequences that could go as far as deportation from the country. We are not in the Wild West anymore. The problem with these demonstrations is that participants are heckling each other online, vowing to impose their views as forcefully as possible, even if it means resorting to the use of force, more particularly against those who do not share our extremist views. I submit that such prior interactions on the internet should be subject to thorough checks, and in some cases, charges could be brought even before the demonstration begins. Some troublemakers could then be arrested at once. Go to Kabul or Somalia and set fire to the national flag in the street. Good luck with your future endeavors. This will open you up to completely new possibilities: stoning, hanging, or even emasculation. It is high time that European countries and Australia put an end to their lax intervention against protesters, the vast majority of whom are Palestinians or other immigrants coming from Muslim countries. Have a great day.